on that topic exactly. Joining me right now is Republican Congressman, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Michael McCaul. Congressman, Mr. Chairman, thank you for being here. You just returned from Taiwan. I want to get your reaction to this reporting from the Washington Post because, as Ivan and John were just talking about, it paints a pretty grim picture of Taiwan's military readiness against a Chinese attack. Is that your assessment as well?
Let me first say, I think the leak done by this Air National Guardsman has caused grave damage to our national security. Not only what you just heard, this report, damaging our foreign policy, damaging the security of Taiwan, also damaging our sources, methods, and assets on the ground. This is not a game to be played in some chat room. He put American lives at risk by doing so. And it's very inflammatory to make the comments he has about Taiwan. I just got back. The island was surrounded by 10 battleships, an aircraft carrier, Chinese, and 70 Chinese fighter jets. This was a live fire exercise drill done to determine both China's capabilities, but more importantly, Taiwan's vulnerabilities. And we've seen this in the past when Speaker Pelosi visited as well. We do have concerns about the ability of Taiwan to deter an invasion. I'm not going to confirm this document. I have participated in red team exercises, we call them, to see how prepared Taiwan would be and what our response would be to an invasion. But first and foremost, as I've talked about, 22 weapon systems that I've signed off on in the past 3 years ago have yet to go into Taiwan. And it's absolutely paramount that we get those weapons in as soon as possible to provide that deterrence, along with combat training and along with intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance by bringing something like a Starlink system into Taiwan.
I know you're going to, eventually you all will receive a briefing on this massive leak and what is being learned about Jack Teixeira and how he pulled it off. But what do you think of the fact that he was able to pull it off, seemingly without any knowledge of his superiors in command?
You know, it's, I was talking to General Jack Keane about this. I mean, a 21-year-old Air Guardsman giving access to JWIC, which was the Worldwide Intelligence System, all sorts of information. It's supposed to be on a need-to-know basis, right? I have no idea why this IT guy had that kind of access to that much information and then so improperly, irresponsibly handling it by trying to impress his quote-unquote friends in a chat room that he made during COVID. Just highly irresponsible. We need to take a look at who is the Department of Defense giving this information to. I understand after 9/11, we want to share information and connect the dots. But for God's sakes, this was, I think, a gross negligence, if not criminal. He is indicted under the espionage statute.
There are a few Republicans right now, Mr. Chairman, that have been defending Teixeira and his actions. Marjorie Taylor Greene is among them. Do you see anything to defend here?
No, I don't. He's not anybody that violates their oath to protect national security and intelligence, this classified information, is not a hero. Just the opposite. I mean, he has jeopardized American lives on the ground. When you're reporting about Russian Federation intelligence of the GRU, there are assets on the ground now, American lives put at risk. They're very concerned about this leak and what it means for their safety. And that's all around the world now because, you're talking about the Middle East, you're talking about our allies. It has gravely damaged our relationship with our allies. As I talked to the Secretary of State, now having to call and apologize to them. Israel, for instance, I don't see anything heroic about that.
I need to ask you also something coming up this week. You're holding a hearing this week on the Russian war crimes in Ukraine. You and I have talked about this much in the past. There's much work to be done. But what are people going to hear this week? What do you want to present? Because obviously this is being run out of the International Criminal Court. But what are people going to see this week?
You know, I want them to see the truth. I want them to see what is really happening on the ground, what Putin has done with these war crimes, and the lives that have been impacted. You know, I went to Bucha. I met with the families. I saw the faces of the children who were slaughtered and raped, you know, burn victims, mothers being raped. I want them to see what's really happening. You know, a lot of times I know CNN has reported some of this, but I don't think the American people really know what's happening on the ground. And we want to give them a front row seat to the horror that's taking place by Putin and his, you know, acts of atrocity against the Ukrainians.
Just this morning, Mr. Chairman, Speaker McCarthy, he just wrapped a speech in New York talking about the debt ceiling. This is the other thing that's going to be that's on your, you know, on your plate and other lawmakers' plates right now and needs to be dealt with. Part of his plan that CNN's now confirming and he's trying to get Republicans to support is a one-year extension of raising the debt, one-year increase of the debt ceiling, but with a whole bunch of strings attached, like rolling back non-defense spending to 2022 levels. Are you okay with that?
Well, this is the deal I think he made, was to go to cap 2022 levels. You know, I think there's plenty of wasteful spending out there to address. However, I don't want to see massive cuts to our national defense, our national security. You know, as I've talked about, we're living in very dangerous times right now. When you have a dictator, largest invasion in Europe, you got Chairman Xi. I just got back from Taiwan to see what he's capable of doing. And an invasion, possibly after Taiwan's presidential election, is very likely. And so it's a very dangerous time right now. I don't want to see massive or dangerous cuts in our national defense.
We will stand by to see where these negotiations go. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to have you just after your return from Taiwan.